It is indeed a very, very good morning to you. Thank you so much for joining us. It's another episode of The Talk On. It is the 1st of April 2026. Tarehe ni moja mwezi ni wa 4 mwaka 2026. As usual, joining, please like. When you like, we get to know that you're watching us. And after you like, please share. When you share, you give someone else an opportunity to watch the broadcast. We are back to morning show. Yeah, so you guys have been asking for it. We've been the first time we came back this year, we've been doing it evening shows. So we're coming back to morning shows, and we'll be hoping to have you on set. So please, when you like, we get to know that you're watching us, and what you like, please share. When you share, you give someone else an opportunity to watch the broadcast. So mwezi ni mpya. Ojwang, happy new month.
Happy what? April, eh?
We're in April.
You have made it.
We're in April. We made it.
And happy
The first quarter is gone.
April for viewers. The first quarter is over.
Yes.
And even kids are going for holiday.
Yes. Today.
Before you know it, the year will be over, by the way.
It's already
Mimi, once I've hit the first 4 months, the rest inakuanga mteremko.
So
But I think, I want to thank God who has taken very good care of me. And not to take it for granted that we are in one piece. We woke up. I used to go to a church with very old people. And it was interesting.
Did you stop going
so
to
the things you take for granted, they will say, I thank God I woke up, I'm in my right mind. I could still put on my clothes by myself. I drove my car. I'm not in oxygen. And then you get to appreciate the
little things
daily activities, that it doesn't have to be like that, and not to take them for granted.
And actually, I think we really, we imagine that everything is guaranteed, including tomorrow. When you sleep, you start planning for tomorrow. And you say, kesho, tomorrow I'll do this.
You do. I was reading the will of former governor of Humanitarian Gachagua. I was looking at how scary life is. Because I'm looking at him, knowing that in at most a week I'm going to pass. Very rich person, and we'll get to it.
Correct.
But this is how I'm distributing my things, and I'll not be there. And that is a fate common to every human being. Correct. So you have accumulated all this, you have been blessed, but you'll not be there anymore. You can't.
And you can see it coming.
And you can see it coming. You can't cure yourself. You are you are in the hospital. You are in ICU, and you are looking at least. I don't want to use this to be preachy about it, but you're looking at a fleet of vehicles. You're looking at millions and millions. You're looking at billions, and you know that you are going to leave them. Then you wonder, really, that usual question: what is life? Is it worth living? Work, wake up, skip dinner, skip breakfast because you're trying to lose weight.
Avoid starch.
Avoid ugali. Go to gym, run like crazy, and accumulate here and there, work, then die. Or what else?
So,
give us some encouragement. What else is there in life? You look very encouraged this morning.
I'm not even encouraged, a bit reflective.
Okay. Yeah.
And just the essence of what life is, and the fact that nothing is really guaranteed. Yeah. It's very fickle, and we imagine that we have a lot of time. Yeah. Most of the time, we imagine that we have a lot of time and even plan around it. And I think one of the most reflective moments that I've had this year is the passing on of Ojwang. I think it kept me in a corner. Because this is a man who had a whole life and a whole day planned out. And you don't even know that you're rushing for a meeting that you don't even make it to. You don't make it home, you don't make it to that meeting, and you don't make it to the dreams that you've been planning for. This is someone that he had his life on an upward trajectory. It's a reminder that, do what you can. What you need to do,
with what
do
you
it.
have.
Because tomorrow does not belong to you.
Have.
Tomorrow does not belong to you. So exhaust yourself, exert yourself, be a good person, be a good human, and live for humanity. The reminder that Tomorrow is not promised, and tomorrow does not belong to you.
Then, you see what makes it worth it as you reflect is not what you just did for yourself, but you did for others.
Yes.
Because look at that short time. And I think for others, they live up to 80, like Gikomba. Others, they go at 50, 40. Others just flash a little bit and leave. And all this, look at what legacy and the concurrence people have on Ojwang of his legacy on protecting the people. Having passion for them, shedding tears for the issues of injustice. I remember having a chat with him because we were in Noma Bay, there was a meeting, and we just found a lot of time. So we spoke. He told me about his dating life, the person he was to date, how it went, and you realize that at the end of the day, titles or not, these are human beings. And
going through daily struggles. Happy New Month, ladies and gentlemen, and to wish you a great and very successful month. It's also April Fool's Day, so look out in case you get something that is about to fool you. But this show is not one of those things about to fool you. So thank you so much for joining us. When you join in, please like. When you like, we get to know that you're watching us, and after you like, please share. When you share, you give someone else an opportunity to watch the broadcast. So we're going to have almost 3 conversations this morning. One of them is majorly the Gachagua will, NDERITU Gachagua. It looks like the will has refused to will. And we're asking a question, is this a perfect will or a perfect crime? So we're going to look at the will and the substance of it as the family of NDERITU Gachagua goes to AG to seek assistance and also intervention from government. So we're going to look at the point to point because we have the will here. You're going to understand the circumstances and the event towards the drawing of the will. Again, we're going to talk about the ruling at the UN Assembly on recognizing slavery as the gravest crime against humanity. This is a bill that was sponsored by Ghana, and we got a support from, I think, 123 countries. We had an abstinence as well from some countries who are actually perpetrators of slavery.
And then against.
And then we have two against Israel, three US, Israel, and Argentina. Like so we're also going to look at Gikomba demolitions. Yesterday, there was news and politics all over on the state of Gikomba and the demolitions that happened yesterday. So, we're going to have Tuanzie UN Assembly. And we're going to have a video from Al Jazeera giving us exactly what happened in the UN General Assembly.
While General Assembly resolutions are not legally binding, this resolution is meant to set the legal foundation, recognizing that the transatlantic slave trade was the gravest crime against humanity. It also calls for reparations. Now, this resolution passed overwhelmingly with the support of over 120 countries. It was an initiative of Ghana.
History, as we know, is rarely simple. It is layered, it is complex, and at times uncomfortable. This resolution does not deny that complexity. It does not ignore the many dimensions of historical experience. Rather, it recognizes that even within complexity, there are moments in history that stand apart, moments defined by their scale, their systemization, and their impact on humanity. To acknowledge this is not to diminish any other history. It is to deepen our collective moral awareness.
While the resolution passed overwhelmingly, more than 50 countries abstained, most notably France.
Nous regrettons aussi.
We regret that this resolution seems to establish a hierarchy amongst crimes against humanity. This gives rise to serious legal difficulties and runs the risk of creating a competition against historic tragedies that should not be compared and done to the detriment of victims.
The European Union as a bloc decided to abstain, citing what they called legal and factual problems with the draft. The only 3 countries to vote against this resolution: Israel, Argentina, and the United States. Gabriel Elizondo, Al Jazeera, at the United Nations in New York.
All right, so you got it right there. That's a ruling at the UN General Assembly. And as much as this is not legally binding, I think it's one of the most recent recognition of the injustices that was done to Africans back then. Ojwang, you're an international human rights lawyer, and you've had a privilege of living outside the country and also understanding the history of Africa. Especially, they tell us to forget about the injustices and forgive each other. But they don't forgive us for the sins that we've had all these years. What do you make of this ruling? Does it take us anywhere close to having justice finally for our forefathers? Because they've told us, no, I mean, in historia kitamba sisi hatukua. So tuachana hiyo story, let's deal with the things of today. Does this mean anything for Africans?
I think so. The word reparation means to repair.
Yes.
When evil is done by a society collectively, then it creates a duty to repair. 400 years of slavery, 400 years. And so that is the outstanding thing, that there is no human crime that has taken that long.
So 5 generations that actually lived through it.
That lived through it. And it wasn't random. It was institutionalized, legalized. Somebody built a ship. Somebody had people coming. Somebody had a system of law, of positive law. It was, it was written in law. It led later on to colonization. Somebody was picked like a commodity or commodified. If you have watched movies like The Roots, somebody went to the hood to prepare some sticks or some cut some wood. They were captured. The brutality of it. Captured, at that time they became a property. Some as far as Tanzania, Bagamoyo and all that, you walk for days to the sea. There is a point in the sea, the point of no return. You are loaded into a ship that could carry thousands, and you are packed on top of each other. You are washed like cargo. You are fed like cargo. By the time you reach there, you have developed some sores and scars. You are painted black so that the buyer cannot see that you have wounds. You are paraded in the shore of Virginia and wherever, and people bid and say, I want that one and I want that one. And you are going to work for free. Because connect the Industrial Revolution and the production of cotton with cotton picking. You work there. The women who are working as maids, you nurse the children of the white people. They give birth. You breastfeed them. You take care of them for 400 years. The child you bear become a slave. Within the homestead, the master sexual pleasure is with the slave. Some were put in museum just to look at the curves and whatever and for pleasure. So being raped, you are a property for thousands of years. 400 years, and legally, if you try escape, you are to be killed by law. And in fact, in the US, there is a time they did census and they were counting each slave for a half a human being. Legally. So it's not a system. And that is why Ghana was saying, you don't tell us Africans participated. Africans did not build those ships. Africans did not know how cruel these people are going to be treated across the shore. Some are, you are picked in the shore of Nigeria, you are an Igbo. You get into the ship, you are a Negro, a nigger, you are black, you are minority, and you lose your identity. And they picked our best. They picked our engineers. They picked people that could tilt our lands. They picked our doctors. You know, they were picking people who could persevere the month's journey in the sea. So they were not picking weaklings. So imagine you are a family member, one of your siblings went to collect firewood, they are gone. One of your daughter is gone. So the mother has remained without a daughter or a son. Maybe the husband is gone or the wife is gone like that to go pick cottons. The cruelty of this action. And it is historical now because Africa is saying we need reparation. What 400 years of free labor. And so the issue of this is how to develop. You develop by making others slave. As Africans, who are we going to make our slaves to work for us for free for 400 years? And because you had a head start by using people for free and having free labor for 400 years, you have developed yourself. They were compensating, the states were compensating those who lost when the Supreme Court of US and other states declared slavery illegal. They were being compensated for losing their property. If you looked at a property login, or how do you call it, where people have listed their property, they will put there in the cows, I have a mule, I have a tractor, I have 3 slaves, to make another human being property, to come and take land from another human being, to cause that suffering and disrupt the continent here and have those people up to now live. So if you live in the US, racism is still real. I remember within the first month I went to US, I was in the habit of walking around until police told me, you make white people nervous here. Do me one favor, go home, either take Uber, but you cannot just be walking around. And you know, I became suspicious because I was walking, I'm looking at things, mainly shiny things, as Sifuna is saying, looking at vehicles in the parking lot, and I could see, kumbe every shop I walk, they call and say, a black man is walking here. I don't know whom he's going to rape today. I don't know how many people he has raped. I don't know whom he's going to rob.
But he's about to do something.
So then I just saw, and this is 2 months, I was 19 or 20. I just saw 2 police vehicles come right at me, put your hands up.
Wow.
And once they heard my accent, they lost interest. But they told me, young man, do us one favor. Go back home and don't walk like this. You make people nervous because you are risk. You can rape them, you can hurt them. So it is real. The racism inbuilt is real. The derogation of African people as third rate. The exploitation of our resources started with the exploitation of our people. And when you have exploited the people, leave alone land, their own people, and you have taken them to work for you for 400 years. And yet, the contradiction is you live in America, and now the federal government don't want people to talk about slavery. They can talk about endangered servants and all the history. They are trying to erase it from the history. And they are saying we are not guilty. So the issue is, as a society and as a decent human being, when we have enslaved others, and there have been different slavery, but the transatlantic was the worst form of slavery in history. And then you have had the movie and the conversation. One time there is Booker T. Washington, who wrote a book, and he's saying that the slavery was outlawed. And all the slaves lived in a small wooden cabin. So him is about 6 years old. And that night, nobody slept. The debate among slaves was, do we want to be free or continue being slaves? And so they looked at the merit Demerits, how are we going to start? We have no property. At 4 a.m., the verdict was, we are going to continue being slaves. And he's giving us that picture of how people who have been enslaved for long are messed up psychologically.
And that is the point, because when you look at it, Ojwang, these are people who have been born into slavery. Like, you don't know any other life.
Yes.
You don't know freedom. You've not been, you've never get to experience freedom. 400 years, just look at it today. How far back is that?
You're free.
Do you remember someone even from your family who was existed 400 years ago? So this is normal. It becomes normalized because.
But you see, that connection with even with colonization.
Yes.
Frank Fanon says the process of slavery and colonization was so brutal. You know, it took resistance. You know the history.
Yes.
People were killed. People were beaten. People had to know that this is called white reserves. I'm not allowed there. I can only survive in the reserves. People knew to work with kitambulisho.
Yes.
People knew to pay taxes to the government they don't subscribe to. People knew the head of household and how the head of household had to come and pay taxes on behalf of people.
And it was normal.
The brutality became normal. But you know what Frank Fanon is saying, which is very important to me, that the people who went through that system were traumatized. Then they gave birth to other generation of bastards, traumatized, because they didn't go through therapy. Your grandfather, who was working in colonial, milking cows for them, and accepting that me, I'm a less human being, was not taken to therapy. He raised your father, who also, he raised with those machungu, with those problems, who also raised you. In the process, you are a damaged good. And that is why you wonder, how do Africans do some of the things we do? Because we were damaged by the series of brutality we saw. Kedong massacre and whatever. That is the same thing with the slaves. If you are enslaved for long, you become damaged. So that if you look at somebody like Malcolm X, he has written, there is a book about miseducation of Negroes, that a black person, and maybe in this case an African,
Yes.
always look for a backseat. And if there is no backseat, they create it. Have you seen how colonized people sit, even in class or even in church? Somebody goes across this way. Somebody will come and they're late, go to front, pick a chair from front, and go sit at the back. Those are symptoms of colonization. And when I went to the US at the age of 20, first class, I know what you do, you sit at the
back. And nobody needs to tell you sit at the back.
No, it's psychological because it's how you feel. You feel small. You feel inadequate. And that white person come, sit in front, interact with the mwalimu. Mwalimu, do you have other books? Me, I know the teacher is not to be spoken to. You run away. You are always hiding. So if you look at how we sit, every meeting is full at the back. Tells you that we have low self-esteem from being colonized, from slavery and all that. So the damage is big. Now, I saw they were saying it's not legally binding. Well, that is neither here or there. It's the morality. Because we know that there is a lot of history that have been done because of genocide, for example. The Jews genocide, the unfortunate genocide. But you know, we have also seen that King Leopold in Congo killed more people than the Jews who were killed in Germany. But there has not been acknowledged. The world have not confronted it.
Yes.
So for the first time, the world is being indicted and told, you know what, you cannot just continue business as usual. The events that happened 1,000 years ago affect what will happen 1,000 years ago. If, for example, those slaves, by law, the Jim Crow laws outlawed them to learn reading. It was illegal to learn how to read, because if you learn how to read, you could forge a deed or you can run away. So if your grandfather was not allowed to read, your grandfather was a property. By the time you grow up, there is no generational wealth. There is zero knowledge. Yet, if we do college admission and we say we are going to give 10 points credit to those who are children of alumni, guess who are going to be children of alumni? You are not going to be a child of alumni because your parents were slaves.
Yes.
And so the generational wealth, you can have a doctor, a black doctor and a white doctor. A black doctor is starting from zero. A white doctor is starting from a house that was my grandfather's house. So they have at least a house, some car somewhere, some endowment fund somewhere. So the generational wealth is unequal and there is need for reparation. Finally, some of these very reputable organizations made their money using in slavery. Some of the universities, there's a time that even Harvard pulled some of his funds from investing in some of those insurance companies because they were the insurance companies that they were insuring the cargo of people through the transatlantic slavery. So people have built their wealth at the back of others through making others chattel and others their property. What moral authority do you have in this generation, now that we know better, just to say sorry? You know, there's a time that sorry is not enough. You cannot steal my car, and when I meet you, say, oops, sorry, and you're still driving the car. Being sorry here means you give me the car, you pay me for the years I've suffered in Uber.
That is reparation.
That's reparation. Because you are repairing and you are saying, I'm sorry, I've seen what we have done is immoral. That is what Malcolm X is saying, that you cannot drive 6 inches knife at somebody's chest and then you pull 2 inches and you say, you know, that's progress. You remember it was 6, I've pulled, now it's only 4 remaining. Why are you complaining? He's saying
we are doing something about it.
There was all 6 inches, now there's only 4. Now in 20 years, if I pull another 2, you see, that's progress. He's saying that's nonsense. Progress is totally pulling the knife out of my chest, and even if you pull that knife without administering the proper first aid, I'll bleed to death.
Correct.
And therefore, America, according to Malcolm X, have not even started pulling out the knife. That's why we still hear of the deaths. Do not shoot. If you are in America, one thing you are told, if a police stops you, you put your hands where they see. You know, I'm seeing Kenyans. These people can die where you fight the police. Catch me if you can. You put your hands in the bonnet. That's what we were doing, so that he does not think you are armed or you are going to pull until he tells you. He tells you, sir, may I see your license? You tell him, can I now remove one hand slowly to reach to my pocket to get you that license? He's saying yes. And you know he's coming by the car window, and he has the gun already pointed and cocked ready. And then you go give him the license, and he tells you, now, remain with your hands in the bonnet. I'm going to check in the car whether this license is valid. I'll come back.
Wow.
And that only happens to black.
Wow.
That's why the biggest crime in the world used to be flying while black. Now it is flying while an Arab. But it used to only happen when you are to a black person. When it's a white person stopped, how, sir, what a nice day, how are you doing? But the blacks, you move like this, you are shot. You know, 2 years ago there was the famous case of the guy who was shot. Now, why? There has been a lot of tests that even a black police subconsciously think of a black person as a threat to peace, nothing but a criminal, a thug. Subconsciously.
It's a black police.
From the training. because you have been conditioned as a police officer to think these people are nothing but trouble. So that when they did psychological training, you are subconscious, they simply flash images and they could see how your brain is reacting. They flash white image, the brain of the police is just relaxing. Immediately they flash a black image, the guy is like, oh my goodness, there goes the neighbor. This guy is going to kill people here. So that all those are result of this. Now that we are here, how do we recover? And some people are saying, move on. That's not an option. It's the same thing that you see Kenya, finally. If we build ourselves to tribalism and racism, we can unbuild. When you now hear the president talk of broad-based and equality, because there are people who are more entitled, even in the country, and there are people who live in the margin. That's why they are called marginalized. They live in the margin. And there are people who are at the core. That is why even in Kenya, you hear somebody saying, when they come from Turkana, they say, how is Kenya? When somebody read a title and a headline and hear Al-Shabaab or terrorists have killed 100 people, it's like, where? Or Garissa.
That's no.
Look at that thinking. Because we are othering. Those are them versus us. And so every time you see a country moving and saying, you know what, we can only get better when we treat each other equal. We socially manipulate. We can now have reparation. In Kenya, you know, there is the issue of affirmative fund. There is the issue of whether it's women. There is the issue of those seats that are affirmative seats. There is issue of equalization fund. There is issue of affirmative action, where we are going, and that is the innovation of the 2010 Constitution, because they're trying to make us one country, where we are looking at, for example, what has happened historically. Devolution came because in some places, the only government people saw was the police coming to disarm them. We are tired of what is happening down there in Northeastern or in this pastoralist. Send a GSU, they beat people, they come back with guns, then 2 years later we meet them again. Yet other people, they know in their village, there is extension officer of agriculture, there is water, there is roads, there is electricity, there is police station, there is hospital, dispensary, there is bursary, there is loan they take and it's forgiven. They can get government contract because they can access the government because they're in power. And that is the reality of human. So to deny and to say, you know what, others work hard. I still remember Ntimama asking, how hard can you work? A day only has 24 hours. Yeah. Well, this notion that some of us work harder than you, it's wrong. Yeah, you have built it at the back of others. The factory you have built, the labor is us. You have built, the roads you use are paid by taxpayers. Others have tarmac, others don't have. The airport you go to are all funded by us. You are taking advantage. And therefore, when we talk of even how to tax, let's tax in a way that is social justice, is looking at the poor and trying to balance those who have so much, because extreme poverty, and that is now common among some people who have been enslaved, that extreme poverty is a symptom of human right abuses. People don't just become poor. People become poor because they have been neglected. Remember, in this country, we had a situation where we were told, let's focus on places that are important for Kenya and let's ignore others. And so in the process, others remained behind. How do we get them all together? I do an experiment, Gerald, with my students who have problem with things like reparation. They feel it's laziness. They're saying, okay, let's say I'm a Caucasian male from Kaukol Mountain. I'm a Caucasian male, I'm 30. We are in the same college with this African American. We are all here struggling. Is it fair to now pay him or give him affirmative action or even any help over me? It is unfair to me because equality You know, the difference between equality and equity. Equality means that we are both in college, we are both here, we should be treated equally. But now equity comes because this person has been left behind historically. By law, you have been propelled up by the unfair system. You have benefited, whether directly or indirectly. And therefore, when we talk of equality and equity, we are saying no. Sometimes we must bend backward and give people what they deserve, because the world did not start in a vacuum. The world started with others being ahead and the others left behind. If now, and I ask my students, all those in the class, and tell them, let's say success is something so neutral. It includes working hard, it includes discipline, and whatever you think makes somebody successful. If you are seated in a classroom, and I, as the teacher, am standing in front, if I hold a trash can and say, if you can throw your pen on this trash can and get in to the trash, you have become successful. The reality is there are people who are sitting in the front row and there are people who are at the back. That is the reality of these nations and countries. And therefore the inequality, so that we are not blamed that there is something wrong with us, that's why we are poor. And it hit our self-esteem. No, there's nothing wrong with us. There's something wrong with who stole from us. Because we didn't know you can go to someone's country or land and decide that it's your land. And make them work for you. That's very gangster, isn't it? And tax them on top of that, and beat them and rape them. And then while you are at it, pick a few, take back home, and work for you for free for 400 years.
All right, that's it on slavery and the injustices that were made on Africans. And I hope that even as we have in this conversation, we'll now move to the next step, which is reparations. And reparation not just forgive me, it's also about compensation, and ensuring that the African countries and the descendants of slaves are able to not only be compensated, but also be compensated socially, like being accepted as a human being. Because as you say, having lived in America, I mean, it's still the same. The thing is, it looks like the same mentality on slavery and black people still remains. So even as we talk about correction and reparation, we must be accepted as equal human beings.
There is a treaty.
Because if you, even in America, even in a free America,
accept yourself,
you are still a slave.
being.
You are still a slave as well. And then also our esteem, like Ojwang was saying, we need to start working on it. I even see in villages, when you have an event, when you have a function, and even when the event is just starting, and the seats are very empty, it's usually the I tent, Ojwang come and sit. Then you even have the chairs now for the audience. Then you have the trees. There's someone who walks in
and leave a seat completely.
Anawata kiti, chini ya miti.
And then you find that big person, hata watoto wake watatu wamekaa kwa kiti.
There's someone who just walks in straight to the tent.
And you know, in Eldoret, there was a time I was there as an intern in Ampap. And there was something I learned called the Mzungu factor. I did some internship when I was doing my master's in human rights in LES. LES is a program under Moi University that deal with HIV and work with AMPAP. So I was there with a fellow intern who was I was actually a master's student. The guy was an undergrad. His name is Harun. We lived in IU house right there in Eldoret for the 2 months. When I go to supermarket, him is allowed to walk in with his bag. Me, I'm told, weka bag huko, unaweza kutuibia. Severally. When I go to the hospital, he gets in with his laptop. Me, I'm to write the serial number. Do you know, kumbe laptops have serial number. There are about 16 numbers. That there is somebody with a book that unaweza kutuibia laptop hapa. I still remember a very interesting event. Ghana was playing US. And somehow they were excited because they were Americans and the US had made it to quarterfinal. So there was a doctor in Eldoret, a white doctor, who had a bigger screen. And at first I was like, what is a big deal about Nini? Then I had, no, 3D is a big deal. It's like you're in the stadium. So we were to go watch the game at night. I remember Watchman saying, bwana we wacha wageni waingie. No, we bwana wacha kusumbua. Unajua hapa hiyo nyumba ni kidogo. Watchman at the gate. For real, refuse. So Aaron had to come back and say, tuko na sawa mkubwa. So I still remember.
You really suffered in this life.
Me, I've suffered. Born to suffer. I still remember a lawyer that I will never forgive.
Yes.
Because he's a very famous lawyer in town. He was taking the interns and the lace office to Eldoret Public Club. So he came and said, guys, this is a certain Luo guy. Guys, you in my vehicle. The rest,
the rest is you.
Find how to get there.
The rest is
then this lady said, he's also an intern, he's also a girl. No. So I told Aaron, me, I'm not going.
But even among us blacks, you're still suffering.
But it's the same thing. That is why it's so ingrained. You know, what racism does is this. It teaches you self-hate.
Okay.
You come here, if this show was being run by Mzungu, the whole Kenya will have been watching. Hey, expert, serious expert. But because it's Ojwang, what does he know? You go even among students and tell them, today I have a guest lecture from the US. Look at how hall is packed. Vis-a-vis, I have a guest lecturer from Tanzania or from African country. Nobody shows up. So they are the expert. Some of these things done even by legislation here, even in these law firms. They are interns from the US. And they also come with the self-esteem because they know they are allowed to think. They have an agency. There's something we call an agency. The Africans don't have an agency. You ask somebody, what do you think? Whatever you think. You tell students, you tell me your mind. No. But you find that one person, because they have ages, they have been told you are intelligent, you can think. They are actually able to say, you know what, me, I'm thinking different. Right now, in most of African countries, let there come a white trash. A white trash usually is a white guy, no high school GD, living in a funny place, a trailer. But once they come here, do you know they can see the president before you? Do you know they can see any government office before you? And they can discuss serious conversation. They look expert. Even me, I have to forgive myself. They look a little more better expert. Now, the case of Russia.
Yeah, the Russian.
Was that last month?
Yes, yes.
That Russian probably is not even
it's not anything
in his country.
Yes.
But once he came here, all he could do is, to his credit, he will first ask them, do you have someone? And the answer will always be no, absolutely no. Okay, come with me. Just like Jesus. He bid them come.
My English not good.
my English, no. We have tried to even downgrade our English to fit. And then you could see the rest is history. Yeah. Now, I don't blame those ladies. We are being hypocritical. Okay. Right now, if a white person came and told you, Gerald, before you go to work, I'm new in Kenya, could you take me around? I'm telling you, you'll borrow from your cows back home. You'll show him around Nairobi. You know, I have a friend, pen pal. For those who grew as middle class, who had pen pals. If you are a pen pal from the US, tell me more about your country. This is called Sungura. This is called what? You take photos, you send him. Oh, when can you come and see us? You host him. Everyone is there, your grandmother and everywhere. We are hosting Duncan's pen pal. You go there. Nobody cares. Yeah. You come to the airport. There's a time I came to our airport here, about 20 years ago. You find we are so many as Kenyan citizens. That other counter for non-Kenyan, somebody has put two people there. For Kenyan citizen is one person, and it's a very long line. Then there were some couples who I think in front in those non-citizen, but the one person behind them. The person who is supposed to serve us stopped and is telling them, come so I serve you again. And so when I complained, he's like, no, how are you again? I told him, no, this is not how they treat us back there. Back there, the citizens get priority line and others suffer. But when you come here, whether it's a restaurant, whether it is whatever, I've seen even in churches, a theology intern come here for my church. We are all in Uhuru Park. They are preaching to thousands of SDAs. But you come with your big head and pretend to be preaching to us. You can only preach to few congregations. So
a couple.
So Frank Fanon has a book called Black Skin, White Mask. That we are only accepted to the level we put on the white mask. We are only acceptable to the level we are light. Go even to South Sudan media, you are seeing they're looking for light people. If you are not light, we will throw some powder and whatever to make you a little even. The lighter you are, the better.
The more privileged you are.
The privilege you are. And the gatekeepers discern and say, how dark is Duncan? What's the complication? Is he white? Is he none? In the US census, there's a time that Spanish were counted as white and Irish were counted as black or others. So race is constructed, it's a construct. It's not a permanent thing. The race gatekeeper get to say,
they decide
this is because it is also attached with some benefits. Whichever race you have been assigned becomes your burden for the rest of this life. And so Frank Fanon is saying white mask, black skin. The more we put on white mask, you go to colleges and we are told how to eat using spoon, fork, like civilized people. How to put a napkin here, tie yourself with a lasso or that white thing, whatever it is. Even better if you now graduate to even eating with Chinese stick. That is why foreigners come here. And you go to a university and we have institute. And now you tell people to be successful, you need to learn French, Chinese, English,
Spanish.
Yet they have come to your country. Then they're not going to learn Luo. They will just say, "Mimi najua Kiswahili kidogo." Oh, it's a cue for you to try your English. I mean, how do they know the Kalenjin, Kipsigis? No. Do they care about it? No. But you are here
for you to fit.
Learning Spanish, uno, des, sijui nini. You have gone to college for French. Do you know how much likes you can get in Facebook if you went and started saying bonjour?
If I start doing this show in French.
Yeah. We will have a lot of donors here, I'm telling you.
All right.
Colonize people.
Moving on swiftly. That was it on the issues of slave trade and reparation. Quickly moving to Gikomba. Let's have the video up. First on the news article on the demolitions. Then we are going to have the other side of government. What is Sirkal saying and what are the traders saying about what happened in Gikomba? Okay? Let's have a solution for Gikomba.
Indeed, very interesting sentiments from the First Lady. Now, hundreds of traders at Gikomba Market in Nairobi are left counting losses after a night demolition exercise wiped out their businesses. The operation, carried out under government orders, has triggered outrage from traders and leaders, with questions emerging over the timing and a lack of alternative arrangements, while authorities insist the move is part of a broader plan to reclaim riparian land and modernize the market. Those affected say they have been pushed to the brink. Our reporter Herman Kamariki has the details.
What remains at Gikomba is a scene of destruction, twisted iron sheets, scattered goods, and traders trying to salvage whatever they can. For many here, years of investment were reduced to rubble in just a few hours. Traders say that demolition caught them off guard, leaving them with losses running into millions and no clear direction on what comes next.
Kama serikali inajenga hii soko, ikuwe ni soko. Isikuwe kuna nia nyingine ambayo ni nia fiche tunaambiwa kwamba tunahamia pale, tena ikifika pale tukwambie tutoke na soko isijengwe.
Watapelekwa wapi juu wale pande ile nyingine iko wale watu already wameshaenda pale na uwezi pata nafasi, na wale watu wako hapa ni wengi, wawezi tosha pande ile. Serikali watatupeleka wapi?
Market leaders now say that the demolition was part of a government plan to clear structures along the river corridor and pave the way for modern market setup. But even as that promise stands, a new concern is emerging: allegations of exploitation. Some traders claim individuals are already demanding payments of over 7,000 Kenya shillings, promising to secure them space across the river.
Ile shida imekuwa hapa sokoni ni kwamba kuna mabwenyenye wale walikuwa wamegrab hizi sehemu, walikuwa wanakombolesha watu, na ilikuwa kila kiwanja wengine wanalipisha space ndogo ndogo 4,000, 3,000.
We were given like 30 days notice, lakini wa vile wanaona hao wako mbele sana, they are arrogates of those cartels. Na zile mnaona hazijabomolewa ni za those cartels, lakini others they are very willing to shift.
Leaders allied to the opposition have also weighed in, criticizing the manner in which the exercise was conducted, saying it lacked humanity.
What happened last night is inhuman, it's brutal, it's unacceptable. It is persecution of small traders.
And we condemn them unreservedly. Why on earth would you want to disturb people at 4 o'clock in the morning if you are doing anything lawful?
Mnyonge anadhulumiwa. Mnyonge anakula jasho lake. Alafu wanaharibu biashara ya mnyonge.
Authorities, however, say the demolition is part of a wider plan to modernize the huge market.
There are some who want to bring a political, a tribal connotation to this, saying that a particular community is being targeted. And you know, the real common sense is, if this one particular community is being targeted to move out, surely when the market then is complete, then they will be targeted to come back.
And even as the government says it plans to build traders new stalls for their business, the question remains, where do the traders...
Right, now let's listen to the other side of it, where we get to hear about the government's plan on Gikomba, what they actually intend to do with Gikomba. And they have said we're actually given notices. They said we gave our notice for evacuation and demolition, and they were given alternative space. And the government is saying we want to modernize Gikomba market. Let's listen to this.
We must pay attention to Gikomba market because it is a national market serving a national traders network around Kenya.
Na relocation ya traders in the new markets, not market per se, lakini mahali the holding area tumepewa na serikali kwa sababu Gikomba inataka kuwa developed. As you know, kuna ile program ya river regeneration.
Nataka niwatangazie nimewatafutia pesa shilingi bilioni 3 ya kuexpand soko ya Gikomba. We're going to build a modern market, one that you have not seen right here. Ndio wale wafanyabiashara wengi wako humu bado wanafanya biashara barabarani, tuwatafutie mahali pazuri pia na wao wafanye biashara sawa sawa.
Nimekuwa kwa hii biashara kwa muda wa miaka kama 10, na wacha tuseme kuna shindanga kukichomeka now and then. Kama mimi nishachomekewa mara mingi, nime lose a lot of money actually, of which I was unable to be compensated by anybody. So I thank the government kama itatujengea soko. If it's genuine, and I believe they are going to do that, niko sawa.
They construct the new market, wakuwa metupea a holding area. Sasa hiyo holding area ndio hii umeona tumejenga hivi, na what happened, the government ilikuwa imetupea tu the land peke yake because inasema this was not factored in their budget for this project, but walikuja hapa wakalevo vizuri, wakatobia mtu akitaka unaweza weka shade yako, and that's what we did. We contributed among the traders tukajenga hii shade because hata huko vile kuna chomekanga, that's the same thing that we do. So tumejenga na tumeweza kuweka kila kitu, and tulikuwa tumepewa deadline ya 30th. So tukaambiwa kila mtu, serikali haitaki kugongea mtu huko, so kama kuna structure yote ikifika 30th uko umetoa. Na kama mimi my section already tulitoa by Saturday, tulikuwa tulishatoa kila kitu, and by tomorrow we as the leaders to coordinate to allocate these spaces for our traders.
Hii soko mpya itatusaidia kwa sababu kutakuwa na wanunuzi wengi na tutakuwa na soko safi, unaona, pana hivyo. Kwa hivyo biashara itanawiri.
Ili hata watu wenye wako kwa phase 2 by the time wanaambiwa watoke, already wameona phase 1 tulihamishwa, then tukajengewa soko na tukarudishwa. Such that it will be even very easy, because again this holding area, it was not enough to accommodate Gikomba yote. So they had to do it in phases. Tukuje hapa, tukijengewa turudishwe, then phase 2 watu wanguo all the way hiyo area yote pia waletwe hapa na wajengewe pia.
Hii Nairobi haiwezi kubadilika kwa maneno ama kwa vitimbi ama kwa sarakasi ama kwa porojo. Nairobi hii tutaibadilisha kwa miradi na mipango ya maendeleo.
All right, that's it. We've heard from both sides. So I don't know if you have any comments to make, Ojwang, very quickly.
Yeah, you know, I worked, and I had the privilege of working in the Nairobi Rivers Commission.
Correct.
And some of the challenges we had is the issue of human settlement and human activities. That to reclaim the river, to rehabilitate the river, and to restore the river, then there are hard decisions that must be made. There should be important projects around the riverside that create value on the river. People, by nature, tend to trash where the place look trashy already. But if you build like this market that is going to come up in Gikomba, then already it will restore the value of the riverside. Number two, the river is not just about Nairobi.
Right.
This thing is causing cancer down in Makueni and Machakos. The water, when it gets to Bavoko or wherever, the water has turned green and black. That means no oxygen and there is pollution. We have not managed our resources well. We have allowed a few people who take the riparian land, build or do their human activity to do it at the expense of people upstream. This is the Upper Sabaki, and it's the river that is going up to Indian Ocean. And it is irresponsible for the activities to go on unmitigated and down by the river, even Krogol, the garage. So one of the issue is to move people, build out of the river, build something that is meaningful, give them dignity. How many times have you heard of the fire in Gikomba?
Many times.
Very many times. People have lost property. There is no dignity. There is only a certain people who can go to Gikomba. But if you make it good and you make it available and accessible for everyone, then we can all go there, or most Kenyans can go there, and it become good. So sometimes we become selfish as human beings are supposed to be, of course political, but I think a leader must make hard decisions.
Correct.
And a leader must sometimes take people to where they don't know. Because you know, you have been trading on shoe, you know, you go to down the river, you wipe your shoe, you bring them here, you make your 50 bob on each pair. But at the end of the day, this is a city, for crying aloud, claiming to be a green city. The UNEP is here, the modernization is coming. How about doing it, but doing it in a better place, in a modern market, and we can also protect the river. Now, some of those activities have led to flood. How many times have we lost human life?
We just did around 2 weeks ago. Yeah, the same problem.
We did. And then we complain and we blame everyone else. But you see, sometimes we are not honest, because the real blame, there is enough blame to go around. We have built there. We do human activities there. We pollute the river. And then, do you know Nairobi is a water scarce city? We get our water from Murang'a. Yet the river is here, flowing with nothing but sewer and dirt, and there is no government to push people. And so I'm glad that finally, even though we left the commission, finally the Nairobi Rivers Commission are saying you cannot politicize this. Science is on our side. Data is on our side. This place can be well done. People can be enjoying walking in the riverfront. If you go to Chicago or in other cities,
I mean, it was the most expensive regions actually.
It's the most, but here in Kenya, it's the worst because
it's actually slums.
You know, when people turn their back at something, they don't take care of it. If you go to Nairobi, to Chicago, if you want to tour Chicago, you go to the Michigan Lake. And it's such a beautiful
When you go to London, you go to Thames.
Yes, River Thames. Ethiopia did the same. If you come to Nairobi, you are just doing window shopping like a wild animal. There is no river navigation, and somebody has put a stall there, is selling his waru on that river. No, we must take responsibility.
All right. And that's actually, I mean, when you travel, the most expensive real estate.
Yes.
Around the rivers, and by the river, they tell you
there
have
must be a
a
river.
beautiful view by the river, or I mean, you're next to a river. I mean, all these things. Anything you see water is premium.
Premium.
But here in Kenya, anything you see water, run away.
It's a breeding place for mosquitoes. It is the crime. Do you know the amount of crime and the bodies?
There's a moving toilet.
Picking bodies there.
So I think we need to accept that we need to do better, and it takes us back to the issues that we're having on black bias. Like our minds are already, we don't want progress. You know, anything that disturbs our suffering is bad news.
No, change is disruptive, but change is progressive, and that is where leadership come in, because without vision and strategy, then we like status quo. These people have been involved. You have heard the leaders saying, we know what is coming. There is a catalytic project, 2 billion to build for us,
That's
not for anyone else.
And also think about it. Think about the Southern Bypass when Kibaki was building the Southern Bypass, and he had to demolish houses around that line, if you can remember very well. There was a serious outroar, and people were saying, why are you demolishing our homes? But today, we celebrate the Southern Bypass for what it is. So I think what needs to be done should be done. And one of the habits that I've seen as well, when Kenyans are given notices to move, even look at the issues of expansion, road expansion on Thika Road by Kenya. Kenya has issued a notice of evacuation for 2 weeks or 3 weeks prior. Then suddenly someone wakes up in the morning and said, my stall was bombarded. And you had a notice of 3 weeks, and even a whole month.
Even these people had notice. And you know, when we talk of rule of law, for Kenyans, rule of law only apply to the government. The way I drive my car, whether I live in riparian land, whatever I do, rule of law don't apply to us. But in reality, the rule of law should apply to everyone, because everyone must be guided by law. These people met them, gave them notice, and they were alerted. But you see, and that is why you have found police sometimes in very difficult situation. Why are they coming at 3 a.m., Mr. Senior Counsel Kalonzo, at 4 a.m.? Because they want to avert the confrontation and killing. If you come during the daytime, people will fight.
Even
so
when
as a smart police officer, you have given notice, the notice has lapsed. What do? You come in the very early morning because you don't want to beat, harm, and kill people. For those people who are expecting to see the theater of war, and people being shot, and people beating the police. By the way, the police themselves, their life in danger. So as a meaningful and a reasoning person, would you want to do it the hard way or the easy way?
The logical.
And that is why even when it comes to eviction, and even when they want to arrest people, sometimes they go very late hours because you are avoiding bloodshed.
Okay. Thank you. Jen, good to see you. Safaris by Jen. The tackle is on every day now. You're trying to be back every day. So let's see how it is after Easter. Mutuombe wakati wa Pasaka tukifufuka.
Like we are there every day.
Tukifufuka Jumatatu, tunakuwa kila siku. Thank you. Steadfast says, clueless opposition ever in Kenya. Hawajui facts. Waongee. Let Raila before raising issues lazima awe na evidence to support his issues. Hawa ni kweli hawana akili. Okay. Sawa. Quickly moving to the will. NDERITU GACHAGUA. Is this a perfect will or a perfect crime? Ojwang. I see you have a dossier here.
No, a dossier, I wish. You know, we say in law there is never a perfect crime. That's why people are caught. Okay. You can do it thinking it is perfect, but you leave some fingerprints that somehow people say, you know, this does not add up. And that's why there is no perfect crime. Otherwise, every person who executes even the dumbest crime think they have done a perfect job until later on it unravels. You know, the will has brought controversy here. Why is it important? We have been told this is a private affair.
Correct, yeah.
But in hindsight, the feminist lawyers, and I'm one of the feminist lawyers, in terms of female jurisprudence. Yeah?
When did he start being a feminist?
No, in terms of female jurisprudence, thinking of law from gender perspective, because law must be engendered. Law is, sometimes we think of male perspective. Most of the things that affect women and families are put to be private issues. Rape, hizo ni mambo ya private. What is private about it? Domestic abuse, all those are private affairs. Let's talk of public policy. So there's a way men have found a way of delegating serious things that affect women to be private. And therefore, there's nothing private with the contestation of a will, especially when somebody's saying the natural thing is that men provide for their families. And therefore, when they die, they still have the responsibility, first and foremost, to their family. And that family usually is construed, can be broader, but usually the nuclear family. So when you find a will that kind of move from that, then that becomes suspicious. That does not mean it's wrong, but it requires some explanation. When you have given aunties, and you have given sisters, and you have given brothers, and you have given brother's wife, and all that, then it becomes suspicious. Now, you know that this will was done, and a will is very important because it organizes the estate. It is in depth that you reward those who have been good to you, and you punish those who have been bad to you in life through the will. Yes. So, of course, Our Excellency James NDERITU GACHAGUA passed in London. You know that the will starts by saying this revokes any other will. And I think I've not seen the other wills surface, but when you come with a will a week that before you die, that revokes other previous wills
that are not available for scrutiny,
and they are probably there and they will come out. But by the time you revoke other will, what is this that you have thought again, or you have reconsidered, or you have been helped to consider? So that is why the suspicion of were you coerced by your brother? And I think that's where the nuclear family is coming from, that at this time, the brother, the former deputy president, become very vocal and very active in this will making to revoke all other wills. And by this time, you remember the brother is in ICU. And so the issue of mental capacity. Are you in the good state of mind when you are when you have been sick in ICU, final stages of cancer, you are in the last leg, the last week? Are you more susceptible to being manipulated? Are you in the right state of mind, or to write another will that revokes what you have done during the daytime, during the time you are healthy, and during the time you are awoke? Now, of course, just like any other will, this will have been considered perfect, but not so perfect according to the immediate family. So the will is saying if you try to contest it, you lose everything. And that is a common clause, but very smart. So it discourages. You know, you have to do your maths. Do I want to lose what I have or risk? And so in the process, it has chilling effect. Yeah. And so the will itself says anyone who try, I direct that if any of the above listed beneficiary raise any challenge to the stated mode of distribution, he or she shall be disqualified automatically.
For context, is that a common line by law when it comes to drafting wills?
It's
because
not
that
common.
Sounds like you are threatening the people you live with.
No. Sometimes it is sometimes there, but it's a way. Of course, it's a way of making sure your will is not contested, isn't it? Because now somebody have to think: do I fight for 90%, but lose this 10%, or I just let it go? And but you can see it as a chilling effect, because now it discourages people from fighting. But of course, there is a few cases in court filed by the family. The family was alleging that they were threatened, that I'm the one who will distribute what I want. Now, the reason there is some suspicion is that if it revokes previous wills, and it happened that the deputy president is at the deathbed of his brother, and finally he writes this will that does not take care so much of the nuclear family, but broaden up to others, including Dorcas Gachagua, is now a beneficiary of up to 5% of the estate. Then it raises question that was he coerced? Was he in the right state of mind? Was he threatened? And those are the questions that the family are raising. So that when his brother took to flight to London through British Airways, reached his deathbed in ICU, and help him write a new will that he signed. What is considered by court is the intention, because it is him that is distributing his estate. So was his intention coerced? Was he in so much medication that he was not thinking right? Or was he in the right state of mind? In lieu to, especially if somebody points that, how come this will apparently benefits skewedly people that naturally we think should not be the primary beneficiary of a will of somebody.
So in that case, could you maybe just take us through how the distribution? Because you mentioned about the percentages. You actually bring in a point of skewed allocations. Could you tell us what went where?
Allegedly. Yes. So what in this will, and maybe if you go and find, because this will was part of the impeachment, that's how it came to the public limelight. In the process of impeachment, remember Senior Counsel Rengo presenting how in the day the brother died, the deputy president withdrew 300 million from the estate of his brother. Withdrew, and that became very suspicious. And there was a letter written by the other trustees. So the deputy president is one of the trustees, but there is other trustees. The one that he calls to be his brother's friend. They wrote a letter complaining of suspicious ways that money was being withdrawn. So that was in the Senate. That was an actual issue in Senate. How come you withdraw? And that money that Orengo was calling proceeds of crime was used to buy the hotel that the deputy president bought from his brother, almost robbing Peter to pay Paul.
So he uses his brother's money to buy his hotel.
His brother's hotel, because apparently his brother wanted all his properties sold and money distributed, which also became suspicious that who will want everything sold or most things sold in that manner.
Actually, someone has asked that question here. Django 254 Why did Honorable NDERITU write in his will to sell all the properties and distribute the cash rather than distributing them as it is assets?
Right. And so because in clause 6, he has a formula of how those things have to be sold and shared. So 10% for Susan Kirigo, this is her daughter, 10% Mercy Wanjira, 10% to Kenneth Jason Kariuki, these are daughters. Therefore, to my mother, Martha Kirigo Gachagua, 5%. 5% to my wife, Margaret Nyokabi. And this is why then the wife is feeling, surely I've been demoted here. 5% to my other wife, Margaret Wadiegeni. It's a very bold declaration. 4% to my brother Jackson Gachagua. 5% to Geoffrey Gachagua. So the Geoffrey Gachagua inherit, that's the former deputy president, get 5%, just like the wife get 5%. You know she's not happy about that. 1% to my sister Lillian, 1% to my sister Linda, 1% to my sister Eunice, 4% to Fred Wachira Gachagua, deceased, 3 children who are minors, 1% Jennifer Gachaga, 2% Susan Wanjiru, son Gachagua to be held in trust by his mother, 5% to Eva Mukami, this is the other wife, for the children, 2% to Dorcas Rijadi. And maybe people are wondering, who will be so generous to give his brother's wife, give brother 5% and give the brother's wife
so that's
5%. And then the mother, his mother has given 5%. And the trustees, DP. So already he's accessing 15% here, while the sons are still at 10%. And so, you know, even a child will say, this is not fair. You punish John, you have not punished Nini. 3% therefore of all my other brothers and sisters, including James Uririani, the balance of 5% for the executor of the will. The will is perfect, as Deputy President is saying it. It is being taught in the Kenya School of Law as the perfect will. But you see, for some people...
This same will is being cited.
Yes, for people who are in social science, when something is too perfect, then it also raises suspicion. When it is too bad, it raises suspicion. When it is too perfect, it raises suspicion. How come this guy in ICU, within the week of his death, can come up with stamina and clarity to write such a perfect will that revokes any other will, that makes the deputy
and remembers
president.
everybody. Yep.
And by this time in his bed, the deputy president and his daughter are the only people on his deathbed. So that has raised suspicion, and in the process, of course, you heard in the impeachment, people even quoting scripture, about the widows and how not to take from widows, but the idea that the property bought was from his brother, and people felt that that is too convenient. How come you are in the perils and pleasure of life? You have been rewarded heavily by your beloved brother at maybe the expense or even more than his immediate or nuclear family. So inheritance, sometime when you go and you do things that people find a little bit illogical, a little bit suspicious, then it raises issues of whether you are in your good state of mind, given that he was sick, whether you are coerced or pushed, whether you are given right information, whether you know everything you did, or what happened. And that what happened is what raises a lot of questions. Remember, by the time he's passing, I think his brother, former deputy president, was already a member of parliament. And so people are wondering, is there a strong will or strong and to manipulate at the expense of maybe some of these people? So the family...
How many pages is this will?
It's not that big. It's 9 pages.
So 9 pages. This is a man on a deathbed. At what point did he get to compile a will?
Probably you don't have to write it personally. The will here is for purpose of will. I declare that I'm married. I appoint Mwai Mathenge, Geoffrey Rigathi, and Njoroge Rageru, currently residing in Nairobi. I direct that the expense of my funeral and burial be paid out of my estate in such reasonable amount as the executor of my will deem proper. Nairobi being of sound and disposing mind. So according to the will, he's saying, I know what I'm doing. Memory and understanding, do make, publish, declare this as my last will and testament, and hereby revoke all former wills or testamentary disposition that have been made by me. So you know by this time, if he's in London, how many people can access him? And of course, it's only few family members can access him. And the deputy president went there and was with him in London, stayed in London for that 1 week, then he died, and then the will came. So sometime when the will shows up last minute and revokes the rest, and maybe take a tangent that is not very orthodox or traditional. For example, extremely favors people that you think will not be heavily rewarded in life or in death, then it raises suspicion. For example, the portion given to Dorcas, the brother and all that. Now, the family have tried to murmur silently, sometimes not so silent. They have gone to court, and they have claimed that they have been warned and almost persecuted. Finally, they have become bold. They have even gone to the president and the AG, asking that please, for the sake of justice, because this is a matter of justice, check on this. Remember, it's many years ago, the things have changed hands, but if there is fraud or there is any issue, then it can be investigated. You are raising issue about the 9 pages.
Yes.
The will even list all the debts he has. You wonder how who assisted him, because obviously at this point, being on the last stage of cancer and being in ICU, he probably needed a lot of assistance, and so whoever was around played a role. That is not bad. What is bad is the undue influence. Influence is okay, undue influence. So he has listed all the rulings by name. That's why it's so perfect. that you wonder in the hospital bed and right in the ICU, how did this perfect will rise? That court cases, he has listed all the court cases and the ruling, and given set money for that. The sum of due to Njoroge Rageru, company advocate, on account of legal fee made up as follows: a High Court election petition, this much; High Court of Kenya, Vipingo Beach Limited, this much; company. It is a textbook kind of a will. At a point, you don't expect so much perfection, you don't expect so much details, you don't expect so much vigilance of somebody who is going through the last stages of cancer and is going to pass, and indeed pass a few days later. So, witnessed by Len Matu, Lydia, Kinuthia, they have written their passport number here, and he has signed, set my hand and seal to this, my last will and testament, consisting of 9 typewritten pages. London, 17th February 2017, the year of our Lord. Surely that makes it look very strong. It is a will. He has listed my Langata house developed on the parcel land registration number. You know, those are very much details. My current house developed on the parcel land of registration number. My Iriga house developed. My share in Mwega Homes Limited to my brother, Rigathi Gachagua, absolutely. I specifically devised and bequeathed the following property as follows. To my wife, Margaret Nyokabi, one house. Margaret Wadiegeni, the Karen house. Iriga house developed in 4 acres to Kenneth Gachagua and Jason Kariuki in equal shares. You know, the issue of who will give their matrimonial property to brothers. Yeah. My share in Mwega Homes Limited to my brother Godfrey Rigathi Gachagua, absolutely. You take that. My house developed on to my wife Margaret, and the big warning in Article 6: if you try to complain, you lose everything. Motor vehicle, BMW registration number, these are to be sold. Mercedes-Benz registration number to be sold, Range Rover to be sold, truck to be sold, Audi to be sold, Toyota Mark to be sold, Qatar registration number to be sold, shares and stocks in Vipingo Beach, because it looks like somebody who had, or is hotelier, is such a word, I had hotel business. And for you, so there's one in Vipingo Beach, I think Olive Garden Limited, Hard Rock Quarries, 888 Construction, Queensgate Serviced Apartment. Remember, some of these hotels are the ones now that were subject of impeachment.
Yes.
How he acquired, how his brother acquired. To say that, you know, sell all these hotels.
Sell all the cars.
Yeah, people wonder who will collect such important thing, because you want your legacy.
Just to sell when you're
done. To say we sell now and distribute everything. But, and you know the reason why it's a difficult case, the person who did will and testament himself is not there. Yeah, he passed. So the brother is not there. But there is a way courts look at things. They can do audit, they can do forensic, they can look at circumstances, they can check, and that's why I'm saying they can check whether there is coercion. You can bring report of medication. Maybe at this point somebody is in serious painkiller, a dopamine and all that. Can this person be at a good state of mind to write a perfect will that is forever going to be the seminal will being used to teach law on how to write a perfect will. Yeah.
So now the question is, clearly what is happening now is what has been warned against, the contestation. So you've already been warned that if you contest, you lose everything. What does this portend then for the immediate NDERITU Gachagua family?
Yeah, so the clause here that says if you contest, you lose, isn't it?
Yeah. And they are now contesting. So what is their fate?
Officially, they will only contest. I think there's nothing. There was some few things filed in court, but I think some were revoked. And so you had the deputy president, former deputy, saying the will was passed unanimously by all the beneficiaries. They said nobody contest, and I think that's requirement. Now, if they contest, and some of these things obviously have been sold, people have used money, they have moved, because it's how many years ago? You know, it is quite a while. Probably more than 10 years. So, but if somebody claims fraud, or somebody claims unjust enrichment, or coercion, or undue influence that change the will, then court, if you give them very good reasons, then they can open up and investigate and check what had happened before or the other will, and they can, for the sake of justice, they can try correct as much as possible if there is any wrong. But the deputy president have said this is our family.
The former, because someone might think you're talking about Kindiki.
The former, the ex to the president. So he's saying this is a family affair. But when you look at this will, the property, even the money in bank, it's billions. You see, wealth belongs to the living. And when it comes to the issue of justice, we have heard of dispossession of widows. Unfortunate things that even sometimes we have blamed cultures. A simple thing like 1 acre that a brother-in-law have taken from the widow. They have taken the brother's things or the son's things at the expense of the widow and their children. Here, I don't think that the widows are suffering. Maybe they could be richer, but 5%, 10% of billions is already good money. But the issue of we expect to inherit more. We expect that our father, in his right mind, knew and has a moral responsibility to take care of us. Surely, how does he come and break in the last minute to be so generous with the extended family and with his brother's wife and with his brother and with everyone? Because even the 5% to his mother, by this time, I don't know how old the mother is. Because remember, him is dying. He was born in 1953. By this time, he's saying he's
calculate for
he's not young. He should be 60 or something. So you can imagine how old is the mother to get this. Or this billion.
65.
Yeah, I think by this time it's 64. And so the mother should be somewhere, could be somewhere even 80s. So by the time he's leaving 5%.
And the administrator
to be held in trust for her by Geoffrey Rigadi Gachagua. So of course, probably by the time we are talking, the mother's passed, isn't it? Most likely by today. And so of course, if you hold it in trust,
you can eat the money.
You're using it for her welfare. If she's used to kawa. In the morning, 1 cup, you make sure you give her that kawa in the morning, that plate of githeri, and when she passes, then maybe you are supposed to distribute it to your siblings, but I doubt, because it looks like Geoffrey Rigadi Gachagua is not in the business of redistributing wealth. He's in the business of keeping it. I doubt that he took that money and said, now that Mama is gone, there's something here, there's something here, come guys. After all, you are well taken care of in the will. So there is suspicion.
Now, the most common question that I'm also seeing here, and I would also love to ask you. Now, this will makes a statement which is very express. There are 2 things that have come out very strongly. One is that this will cancels any other statement or any revokes any other statement, any other will done. So it means they existed. There were other wills that existed before this, and there were other statements that existed before this.
Testaments
that existed before this. Now, is it possible, as this process goes to court, to get access to these other testaments and wills? Are they available? Because, like you said, it's a perfect will. Maybe even those other wills have been dealt with.
No. Yeah, no. The fact that it specifically says that one, I know what I'm doing, being of sound and disposing mind, memory and understanding. I'm good to make, publish, declare this as my last will and testament. No, leaving no doubt, no wiggle room that I don't know what I'm doing. And hereby
just in case you missed the first one.
Hereby revoke
yes.
all former wills or testamentary disposition that have been made by me. Now that is where, if you found the older ones, you could see where he was leaning.
Correct. That's what I'm thinking. Yeah.
So we have not seen them in public, but they are probably somewhere. But according to this one, this is the last one, and they stand revoked. But they can be used to contest that, and look at this direction vis-a-vis at this direction. You see, it is at death or using will that people make and unmake family. It's time to punish those who have been mean to you in life and to reward those who have been good to you in life.
Maybe this was the case then. Maybe Dorcas was very good to brother-in-law.
Yeah, and that is very possible because there has also been a new trend where people have even left things for their caregivers. You are
even your cat.
You are in home, but it has to be trust. You cannot say I leave my cat to my cat because obviously a cat cannot drive. But we can sell the car and take care of the cat for you. If it's drinking 1 liter of milk every morning, we will buy them because a cat cannot go to the shop and say now.
So Ojwang goes on behalf of the cat.
Withdrawn, so let me take care of your cat.
So the cat confirm that you're using the money.
And you write that and for the cat to maintain his standard of living. So if the cat was drinking one liter, and now as a trustee I'm only giving him half a liter, then somebody can petition the court and say you have dropped the standard of the cat.
So who measures the milk you're giving the cat, and how does the cat hold you accountable? That's actually what's happening in this case. Because if you look at what has been left in trustee, look at those percentages.
Yes.
If you total the inheritance that have been left in trust, it's very significant, even much more than what has been given to the
so that it doesn't look suspicious. You put it under trustee.
Look at those things that are under trust. If you put them cumulatively, they're even more than what has been given to the immediate family. Okay? And so now you wonder, who now audits this trust? Because a trustee,
one, by the time you choose somebody to be a trustee,
it means you trust them.
Yes. But they have a duty not to unjustly enrich themselves. They can pay themselves what fairly they are using, like their time, like whatever. But the trustee is supposed to be to take care of what they have been entrusted. And it is also a way of making sure, let's say you have a spendthrift brother, and you want to take care of them, and if you give them that inheritance, they are going to sell it or abuse it. Then you put it under trust. That way, nobody can access that money, even them, to misuse it. Because you write the reason for the trust. You're saying this money, I've given it to so-and-so to take care of so-and-so in this manner. So it's also a way of really taking care of someone
in your absence.
In your absence. And of course, when they die, then the inheritance, the trust is broken and it's inherited. So
we inherited. So in this case, what you're saying,
they're dependents if they don't have a will.
So 5% that will be given to them, to their mother. Of course, the dependent now would be Gachagua.
No, about other siblings.
But who is in charge of this distribution?
Is Gachagua. He's a trustee.
He's a trustee. So in an event that
he's a fiduciary.
Yes. Okay. In an event that the person who has been given this trust, which is a mom, passes away, who prevails over Gachagua? Let me not mention who prevails over this trustee to ensure that there's a distribution of these resources.
The moment,
and who determines who gets this money?
The moment trust lapse, because the person who was, the trust was created is not there, then it becomes an inheritance, right? Okay. Then the beneficiaries of that person are supposed to now inherit. Whether that happens, of course, that's another story. But what the trustees using that money for, and after the person who was the beneficiary of the trustee have died, they're supposed to now say, Mom is gone. This is how much the trust was. Now follow the line. Everyone gets something. Yeah? In ideal situation. Okay. But you know, the amount of windfall, let me call it windfall, that fell on former deputy president is heavy on this.
Phenomenal.
It's a windfall. He happened to be there. He happened to make brother happy, and was there at the right time. And it is important to be there at the deathbed of your loved ones. So I was saying that the new trend has been people leave things for their caregivers. Because you can imagine a situation where you are in the village, your children are in Australia or in Nairobi, you hear Eastern, they have gone to Vipingo in Mombasa, you are in Moiben, suffering with your high blood medicine, and there is this one person,
my brother,
your brother or your brother's kid, that is there to make sure, Uncle, have you taken your medicine? When you die, it's time to punish those fools who didn't know you exist, isn't it? The bingo. You just see their Facebook status, the bingo things. Mara, they are in Australia. And then they come saying, oh, you know, you are my beloved dad, therefore I inherit. Where? It's time to punish them. But, you know, and that's why this Willie said it's perfect. If you don't give them anything totally, they will disturb you. They will disturb the will. Yes. So you give them, if you had 200,000, you say, and for you, Duncan, I've left you with 2,000 because you never cared for me. Use that as fair to come for my burial. So that if Duncan goes to court, the court can say, no, you cannot.
But you have something.
You cannot say, Mzee never thought of you.
Yeah, thought of you.
They thought of you, but very negatively. And therefore you cannot say, because if it totally does not mention you, it's easy to say, surely. You seem no mind. How come he forgot me? He forgot me. But no, if he even wrote here, and I took you to school, you dropped in Form 3, you ate my fee, I told you to stop doing ABCD, you refused, I took you to college, you refused, until now you are waiting for me to die, and no. Therefore, 2,000 is your portion. Here.
And they say, measure you by your 3 names.
And shut up. By your 3 names. And if you are smart enough, then if you give them too little, they will obviously go to court. So you don't give them too little, even if you wanted to punish them. You give them a little bit enough, but not much. And you tell them, if you try, fight this will, you lose everything. You lose that small. So then they will have to calculate. Of course, by this time, you know they leave it from hand to mouth. Yes. I get 200,000 now, or I go to court, look for lawyer's fee to get or possibly get everything, that 1 million, but lose everything. Most likely, as a logical human being, they're going to say, let a person, come out. Come out.
So, even as I'm going to read the comments, I'm curious to know the followers who are listening to us this morning, especially men, and also women these days, because women really
both can write
it well.
Should write it well.
Yeah, okay. So, in a situation that you are to die today, or actually, the people even who have written their wills even now, even before they die, so it's not about a matter of dying. But who do you leave your inheritance with? Tuambie list, tuandikie. Leo ukiweza enda ama kama unapanga kwenda, how will your will look like? Who will get your wealth? Let's assume you have a family and you have the extended family, you have a loving sister or loving brother who's always by your side, you have a wife or a husband. There's also a research that actually women don't put their husbands as their next of kin. They put their mothers. Sorry for another day. But anyway, so if you are to die today, how would your will look like? Who would you leave your wealth with? Let me get to it on the comment section. I'll be reading comments. Nataka kujua. Ungeachia nani? Na kama ni ya trust, utaachia nani ya trust? Marky Blaggers, happy to see you. Answer is falling from Minnesota. Thank you so much, bro. Falling from Minnesota in the United States of America. He says, say hi to Ojwang. Mwambie it's spring, but we still have a snowstorm this week.
Who is that?
Marky Blaggers from Minnesota.
Oh, Minnesota.
The United States of America. Sema huko kuna spring. Yes, it's called spring, but
I don't envy them.
Okay. Django 254. Why did Honorable NDERITU write Israel? I think I'd read that. Jakol, Gachagua is a goon. Where is he? Okay. Midora 76. Oh, this is so cruel to the family of the deceased. All the properties to be sold and money distributed to beneficiaries. Then money withdrawn from deceased account to buy deceased property. Yes.
Yeah. That's what Senior Counsel Rengo brought aptly during impeachment. The day the brother died, 300 million was withdrawn from his account by the beloved brother.
Is the beloved supposed to make it sound a bit kind? Anyway, so, and the money could be traced to the purchase.
Later on, the money resurfaced to buy the Vipingo property, and then it's put, because they were to be sold anyway. So then, actually, there is a court ruling that says this is a proceed from crime by judge. That's some of the evidence that were used for impeachment, that money removed from the trust. So that became very suspicious. Immediately it was removed. Then later on, the hotel is bought at the same amount, and therefore
the same amount removed.
Yeah,
the same amount goes. Yeah,
that's why it's like taking from right hand.
So you just pick on the right hand, you pass through the back, you hold it from the left, and you say voila.
Here you see me, now you don't. But what do I know? I don't have a hotel in Vipingo.
Actually, you don't. Stephen Mwema, Kenya politics is marked by hypocrisy. During the 2022 campaigns, Kenya Kwanza defended Rigathi when it suited them. But after the fallout with Ruto, the same issue of will is now used against him. What do you have to say about that?
And that is a very fair thing. I don't know whether they defended the will. I don't remember them defending the will. Did they?
I don't even remember it coming up. Really.
Maybe it had not boiled well. But be as it may, what human beings are not supposed to be perfect, but the truth is always the truth. Probably people, nature. You cannot say you kept quiet this time and never, and therefore you should not speak, because I think the same victims are still suffering if they are. The same family are supposed to complain. Rigath's sister-in-law was ready to testify during his impeachment. That's how serious it is. And even Rigathi himself is not taking it lightly, because you can imagine your sister-in-law willing to testify. Remember when he fell sick, or sickness fell on him, and he went to Karen Hospital? Some of the evidence and the cross-examination were so much on this will, because it is suspicious. So I think whether it is being brought for political convenience, and I think that's the question, isn't it? You are just saying it because now mumekozana. But President Ruto will be okay whether Rigathi returns the money or not. I think he'll be okay. Excellency Rigathi will also be okay. But will the family be okay? And that's the issue. That the issue is, it's not, it might have started as politics, but here is the will. But there is also real victims. And so when we live in a society where we are talking of taking care of vulnerable people, Do we leave them because it's politics? Or do we care less about them because it's politics? Just like I started by saying that sometimes we relegate areas that take care of female, family, and orphans to private law. Yet, rape is not private. But somebody can argue, well, it's only domestic affair.
Yeah, and we are not there.
Yeah, domestic abuse cannot be private. Yeah. And therefore, whether it was not there before, now it is here. Let us confront it. If that uncle of mine in the village is being accused of taking half an acre of semi-arid land, and is being called a woman abeta na inakuwa big issue, hata NGOs are formed around protecting that widow. Surely, how about
billions
this case?
Yeah. Haya. Okay, where was I? Yes, Django 254 says, I think the immediate family need to see the will prior to this current will for comparison. So I don't know, you're asking, is it accessible?
The original one.
I think it will be interesting to see how that
the prior
out.
ones.
Yeah, especially if the court actually demands that those other wills be produced for scrutiny.
And testaments.
Yes, and testaments.
Because sometimes oral wills are also admissible, though they are preceded by written wills, but there could be evidence, but they have to find a forum to take those evidence.
Okay. All right. And actually, the fact that he's stating very clearly, it means he's not just making a guess statement. It's a statement that points to existence of these testaments and documents as well.
And they stand revoked according to?
Yes. So it means they exist. Okay.
You can't revoke something that was not there.
That exist, yeah. Chalcock, the threat about losing everything. The threat about losing everything is the wording of Rigathi. Okay, for sure it sounds. Okay,
that's the what?
It says that threat, the clause, and if you try, jaribu.
Anafikiria ni Rigathi aliandika hiyo clause. Inakuanga kwa will, but inakuanga because kuna mtu atalia. So by the time you are signing it, unajua kuna watu watajaribu, but ili wasinisumbue, you're right. Article 7, no, we have what we call the dead man's hand. Somebody has died, but he still want to control the estate. Because it's yours. You earned it. Yeah. And so I direct that if any of the above listed beneficiary raises any challenge to the stated mode of distribution, and it looks like the new mode of distribution, he or she shall be disqualified automatically from inheritance. Now, unless there is somebody who was not listed here. So if they find somebody who should have been here, who is not listed, then they could have raised.
That's why you are saying they make sure that everyone is listed.
Yeah, I list you even if it is 2 shillings. So that, no, but you have to give me something substantial to buy my piece. So, Susan Kirigo NDERITU, they are complaining, by the way. They have been vocal. But they have been given 10%. Okay. So that turns to good money. And so you have to pick your battles wisely. Mercy Wanjira, Kenneth Gachagua, therefore they are off to Jason Kariuki. These are the children. Then maybe they should also say, if the grandmother is deceased, I want to inherit my portion from Grandy. Right? Ama hiyo pia watapoteza.
Inaweza enda. You're saying you have to tread very carefully.
No, ile Grandy see there
in trust. But now the person is in trust is a problem.
No, there is no more trust. By the time the person you are making trust for has died, imekuwa estate ya deceased.
So you can contest.
So your estate ya deceased, there is that 5% is
maybe the deceased also has a will on the trust. You never know.
Most likely, another perfect will.
It's possible another will come out, and there will be another trust. Maximus Oga, Gachagua's attack. Who even gives his property to the children of his brother? Okay. Zango the 5 Professor, can the previous views be retrieved? I think we have answered that. Koros Benedict, ask Wakili, is it true that the late NDERITU Gachagua's son is serving a jail term? If so, on what charges or account? Yeah. Are you aware? Check, yes. That the son
I've
of
heard
the
it in
deceased?
social media. I took it as a social media thing, but there was the issue of he was threatened. At some time, he raised a lot of noise about this will, and he said he was threatened. But yes, I had it in social media. But you know, social media sometimes is half truth, half lies. So I cannot say that he's in jail. After all, at this time tungetusikia mambo yake ya jail. Sindio?
Yeah,
tungekuwa tumesikia. So probably hayuko ama kama alikuwa the guy anakula hiyo 10% yake.
Maybe he was a massage.
Even God only had 10%.
This guy was operating on biblical principles.
this thing is very Hebrew.
10, 5,
offering 1%. And he was very generous with his extended family. So what I was saying is the suspicion rises. People expect that people have responsibility to their children and wife. When you become very generous with the extended family, then questions are raised. It doesn't mean it cannot happen. Me, I think it's a good thing to look beyond just the immediate family. Some might be dependent, but
how would your percentage have looked like? How would your percentage have looked like?
No, maybe based on need. You know, there could be, like the mom could have been a dependent. Yeah, ako nyumbani ni wewe unamchunga. So even if you die, you know they will still.
Nasema yako case scenario. If you have to do your percentages.
No, we are
out of 100.
This one. The four out of 100. Let's not.
You don't want to distribute your wealth. You don't want to distribute your wealth.
I don't know how to.
You don't want to distribute your wealth.
No, you have to.
So Django is actually distributing his wealth here, and he's saying children 60%, wife 25%, and parents 15%. Brothers and sisters wajipange unless I'm childless. Okay.
Meaning hata saya na mtoto.
And some unless.
Meaning meaning hajakuwa naye. Those are theories. Okay. And 25% of what? Maybe 25% of 10 shillings.
Can be of anything. I mean, it's not about the amount. Because in this case,
you know, I come from a view that kama if you have too little, wacha kusumbua will. Unaandika mafomu. Leave will for serious things. Like Jaguar here, unaona. Sasa.
But you see, even 100 shillings are inheritance, man. I've worked for it. Even that 1,000 shillings that I'm leaving behind is money.
Wacha tu tukule tukuja matanga bwana. Wacha lawyers people imekeka itakula half of that.
There is kuches. Kwa hii story, the only thing more contested than the property is the truth itself. Watching from Kilindini. Asante. Simon Juma, why are you not interviewing people from within the Gachagua family? These other stories are yes. It is legal opinion. We are not interviewing. We are interrogating a legal document that is in court and is in the public domain. Okay, we are not having a family pity party. We are not having a family meeting that you say, okay, let's invite grandma as a grandma kuja tusikie hako kijana mkubwa kwa wapi. We are not having a family meeting.
We don't even know how they
we having a serious conversation, my brother. What's the name of this?
We don't even know who was close to him, who was Nini. We are just looking at the four corners.
Look at the documents.
Of the 9 documents.
And the will is here. So we are having a serious conversation here. We are not having a family meeting.
You know the letter that Orengo presented, yes. Mwai Madenge, and Njoroge Regeru were part of the executors and administrators, administrators of the estate. They are the ones who wrote a letter protesting that Geoffrey Rigathi Gachagua, look like Gachagua is the family name,
yes,
withdrew money on the day the brother died.
They're the ones who wrote the letter.
Yeah, they wrote the letter, and they have a role, responsibility to do it. They are fellow. They are three. There are three executors. They complained that how comes. So currently residing in Nairobi and all care of Njoroge Regeru and company advocates. They said no. So if the will is opened again or there is discussion, there will be need to know how did these people appoint? Did they appoint themselves? Who are they? Because I can also come with my 3 witnesses and make them the executors. But the idea of at the deathbed, am I in good position to disinherit or to distribute this in a manner that people who follow traditional view feel I have not done fair to my immediate family. And that actually is the contestation. That's what the wives are saying, that's what the children are saying, that the will showed up last minute when uncle had gone to visit the brother. A few days later he passed, and he was in ICU. At this time, was he in the right state of mind? Now they will have to convince the court if there is that opportunity. What medication was he in? Was he able to think? Because we are trying to look for his intention. Remember, the purpose of will is to do the intention of the
express intention.
The testament of the person who have passed. So is this what he wanted, or he would have wanted differently? Of course, that is the contestation. The brother is saying this is it. The family, the immediate family, are saying no, that is far from it. The brother showed up at his brother's deathbed with his daughter or his sister, with his sister, I think, with one of the sisters, and then the will came.
Okay.
Let there be a will.
Let there be a will. But the will has refused to will. Hi, Mark. Mambo ya Iran and US, what's the tackle on that? I think we discussed that last week, but there are new developments this week. After Trump said he was taking a break from throwing nukes, so that they are negotiating. Again, he came back, he went back to throwing the nukes. And they have really attacked public facilities in Iran. They have attacked a university, the University of Tehran. They have attacked energy installations. They have attacked, I think they also attacked an arms something. So there have been attacks. And Iran as well has been sending nukes to Israel. They seem to be doing well.
In their opinion, they're doing well. And was there some mobilization of the ground troop at this point from the US? There was suspicion.
I think they were saying they're sending some Navy SEALs, not confirmed yet. But
Iran said that Iran felt, because I think the US President Trump felt people have refused to protect that Strait of Hormuz, whatever. Like Britain have not sent their troops, so he has been making fun of them. And but I think the consensus is coming that this war is taking longer than people thought. People thought it will be a quick job in and out. After the demise of the religious leader and the leader of Iran, Ayatollah Khomeini, how comes? Looks like there was another plan. There is resilience. There is another leadership and command structure. like they thought about this war.
Yes.
Because the hitting and the fighting do not look like there is so much clear command structure that if you take out so and so, you have simply annihilated this. So they are going on, and how about the propaganda of the sympathy? Is it moving towards Israel? I saw South Africa trying to mediate. South Africa saying some things, very bold things.
But they're saying it from this corner. Actually, Iran, 4,000. The nuke is doing 4,000.
It can reach them.
Yeah, for Iran. Yeah. So they can actually send something to say if they're not careful.
No, but they say it's on their side. Why will they send?
Like you said, they are saying something on for Iran, for Israel?
They're against Israel.
Against Israel. Okay, that makes sense.
Was that official what was saying Iraq can hit Ethiopia and barely make it to Kenya?
Iran. That was Israel saying that. I think what they are doing is they are doing fear mongering.
Yeah.
Because most of the people have stayed off the war because it's not our monkey. And anyway, if these guys are going to send these nukes, we are far off from the reach. But Israel is saying, you're not actually as safe as you imagine. And what Israel is trying to do is to package Iran as a global threat. That, these guys are not just a threat to us; those are a threat to you.
Humanity.
They even mentioned
humanity.
They even mentioned Nairobi.
Nairobi
is the end of the edge. Yeah, it can touch, but Ethiopia is right in the face of it.
So you move to Kiambu.
So they're like, maybe we go to Kiambu. So I think one of the things that you're saying that really I think America underestimated, and especially America, because it's Israel who would lead America into this war. America has no interest in this war. They are doing it for Israel. I think one of the things that they really miscalculated is the continuity in Iran's leadership hierarchy. That these guys, they've always prepared for this for the last 45 years. And they've said this, that we've been preparing for this war for the last 45 years. And what they have done is their command is well spread. That even if you take out the Ayatollah, this brings up another guy who's going to take charge. And the military commands, they're so fragmented. And imagine this is a country of over 90 million people. So you can imagine that there cannot be a single command, even within the regions and all that, and there is military everywhere. For a country that has lived under threat all these years, you imagine that even all these young people are also, they're the military, they're soldiers. So the issue of continuity is something that they really underestimated, and that is why in the initial stages of the war, they really focus on taking out the leaders, because they imagine that once you take out the commands,
that's what everyone
they cannot continue.
That's a military target.
Yes. And another thing that they really underestimated is their supply of armory, because we eat you long enough to get to a point where you run out of it. But these guys are like, you don't know what you guys are
still on
about.
the game.
Yeah, we are ready. We're going to we can even fight for all year. So there's that, and then the
Strait of Hormuz.
The Strait of Hormuz as a weapon also. As a weapon, because once you put the chokehold, you get the global pressure.
Yeah. And everyone is complaining.
Everyone complains.
And remember, so the two things that Iran might want to de-dollarize oil. Because right now, all oil are bought.
They're selling in yuan.
They want to sell it in yuan.
Chinese
yuan. And that will be a big hit to the US.
For the US. And then also, what Iran has understood is that the biggest trading partners for the US is the UAE and the Middle East. Look for Dubai,
which
investments. Yeah. So once you start eating Dubai, you're eating Qatar, you're eating Doha. Doha is still Qatar, but you're eating all these countries, major economies in the Middle East that trade with the US. They sell oil to the US. So once you continue eating them and eating their facilities,
the proxies,
you choke the circulation of the US dollar, because these guys trade in dollars.
But I thought US is saying they have enough oil. They even have their own oil.
Yes, you might be having enough oil, correct. But now, trade gets affected.
If
your currency is affected.
Because they're saying 20% of the world trade of oil passes through
the Strait of Hormuz. And then now, if you have no tourists going to Dubai again to trade in dollars, because people who go into Dubai, they buy in dollars. They don't buy in dirhams. Yeah. So
and there's and so one thing that happened when there's armed conflict, truth is the first casualty. So every side is selling their propaganda. That is why we need to be careful.
The war is actually more about propaganda. Look at it, for instance. Trump always claims that he has annihilated Iran. He said, I've finished their capacity to produce weapons, their capacity to produce nukes. I've killed all their leaders to zero. But then people are asking, so this zero is the one which is still terrorizing you, still sending nukes to Israel, still sending nukes to the Middle East. So, I mean, it's a propaganda war.
Professor George Saitoti's thesis was that zero is a number.
So his
thesis in maths.
That zero is on terrorism.
He made an argument that zero is not nothing. Zero is already a number because there is -1. So, and I think because now the issue which is occupying people's time and concern is this. That day Trump will say mission accomplished. What will it look like? What do you want to achieve? What will victory look like
for you?
For you, because does it mean you have installed the leader that you are happy with and comfortable with? Does it mean you have totally overthrown these people? How does victory look? And that becomes hard to imagine because when you start to think about it, the system has self-perpetuation, and it appears that the blood of those whom you kill become the martyrs in that case, and they want their will to fight and fight on and fight on, and the world is becoming impatient.
Correct. Yeah.
The world is saying we don't. This is taking too long. Let's fix it. It's not in and out quickly, and that's why I think any war, and I saw President Clinton say that in any armed conflict, there will be unintended consequences. It will never go exactly the way you meant it to go. That is what you should.
And then unintended consequence in this case. Actually, Trump yesterday had a brief to the Oval House, and he actually is first of all is beginning to frame his win, and he's framing his win as the fact that all the other leaders who are in existence are no longer. They have killed them. But now he's not telling us what these other new leaders, because we have a new regime. He doesn't care.
He said he should be involved.
He's saying we have a new regime in Iran. That's enough. The other leaders,
whether they are less radical or whatever.
And they have actually said yesterday. He said that he's going to withdraw from Iran in the next 2 to 3 weeks. Yeah, and he's saying whether they open the strait or they don't, it's getting out of the war in Iran. But I think the person who moves out with the biggest dent is America, because for the longest time, it has made a statement of victory in war, which is usually very clear.
Mission
in this case, it's not clear. And one of the things that also the other countries are beginning to realize is that, kumbe, this boy can be like the bully in school. Who bullies everyone. And then one day someone punches him.
That's what Mike Tyson said. Everyone has a plan until you are punched in the nose.
So
then you forget those good plans. But you know, I think the parameters that did not take off well, they assumed that there will be internal
resistance,
demonstration against the government.
Rebellion.
I can imagine somebody went to the Oval House with the statistics showing how unpopular this government is, that once we gave them a leverage, I'm telling you, within 2 and 3 weeks,
they will chase these guys.
They will now chase them out of town.
So now they're creating the opposite.
Apparently they did not. The resistance has quiet, because now if you resist, you are seen as anti-Iran and somebody who is trying to have us annihilated. So it has actually brought solidarity.
The opposite effect.
So even opposition leader is saying there's a time that a country is bigger. So that is a big Gachagua wa huko, and Sifuna wa huko is not saying mimi ndio Sifuna. He's saying sisi ndio Wakenya, which is what once in a while crisis bring people together. You know, here we can do politics all day because
there's no threat.
There is no threat. This government is stable. The police are there. We can complain here and there, but when there is real existential threat, then you find people pull together.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Very quickly, let me just finish up the comments. Teresa, people will protest your will while alive and still do it when 6 feet under. What is life? You know, when you're alive, they cannot really be protested because you
It's
are there
not a will.
anyway. It's not a will. It's not a will yet. And that's why it's proper to be organized early, write your will in advance, have it sealed, and deposit it with Ojwang. This, know your will, you deposit it with Ojwang.
There's a mechanism in court. I think probate court where you can deposit.
Okay.
They don't want to be carrying wills with 50,000 here and there. You are dragged to the family meeting. Hiyo nguo ni nani anachukua hapana.
Maybe Honorable NDERITU was punishing the immediate family members because they were not with him in the time of need. Last bit will. Yeah. I mean, Dr. Ojwang also brought that aspect, but now that needs to be proved in court. And then if you open that Pandora's box, then you open another conversation. Again,
maybe
you have to prove.
But if you have eaten the money, there's nothing they can take. So 0 plus 0 is 0. This is the best time to.
So you hit the money very fast.
You use the money. You are sue free. Even if you lose, they come for that 5% you are given. It's not there.
Edward Courier, how the government challenges Gachagua and not his fellow families members, including sisters, with the money. I mean,
Gachagua was the one in London.
And he's administrator of this thing.
He's both the beneficiary and the administrator.
He's the beneficiary so he's everything.
And even the trustee in several cases.
And even the money of the brothers and sisters is the one who is distributing them. So,
and he's the trustee of the mom, he's the trustee of the entire estate.
He's also the trustee of the brother.
His administrator.
The other brother
who
passed with the kids. He's also the trustee.
Yeah.
So he's a serial trustee.
Yeah. He's doing a good job.
Okay. When I grow up. So it's been good having you. This has been the Tackle, the 1st of April 2026. We've done our 8th episode today. And it's been a pleasure having you. Thank you so much for always joining in. Our fans on YouTube, we love you guys. Thank you so much for standing in and showing that we've run the show for the last 2 hours.
And it's April Fools, so people should be careful.
Correct.
Those things of saying, the promises, I've seen very fake things.
Even someone
I
might
realized. And who came with this idea that on April 1st, people should just give damn lies?
I don't know, man.
I'll be pissed if you lie to me. They should be. This is the day of the wheels.
Someone might even give you a fake wheel.
Someone might say we are discussing this on April Fools, and therefore it's null and void.
It's null and void. Someone might give you might make you a fake trustee today. So look out for yourself so you don't get a fake windfall. He said it was such a huge windfall. Being at the right time, being at the right place at the right time. Wow. Until I think we are back tomorrow morning. Yeah? Daktari?
Announce.
Yeah. See you tomorrow, hopefully, inshallah. See you tomorrow morning. And we wish you a great Fool's Day. Please don't be a fool. Bye-bye.